everyone, and welcome to Pepito Live. Our live show broadcasted via YouTube is meant to showcase the most fascinating subjects for travelers and expats in Costa Rica, Central America, all around the world. And our objective is to introduce you to some of the most fascinating and interesting people, achievers, creators who really make a difference in the traveling world. When we first started doing this show, one of the subjects I hadn't really thought much about was inviting an author to do a book review on the show, because to be quite frank with you, I sort of like saw it as a subject that was a little bit more heavy or draggy, if I could say in English, while we wanted to do something a little bit more upbeat, joyful. And so I was actually wrong, because then something happened. I met the backpacking housewife, and then I thought, wow, what an interesting subject. What a fascinating author. So rest assured, amigos, this show today will be nothing but boring, okay? And we will get to know, okay, our author today, some of her adventures. We have some special surprises during the show. We have a fun quiz, special reveal. So stay tuned. And also, since this show is live, you will be able to make some comments live and also even ask some questions to our special guest, which is Janice Horton. So amigos, if you haven't had the chance to do so, now is the time to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So amigos, our special guest today is a housewife, a mother, a blogger, but she is mostly known for her romantic novels. She is joining us live today from Scotland. So let's welcome to the show, Janice Horton.
Hi,
welcome,
Pepito. Hi, welcome. Thank you. That was a lovely introduction. Thank you so much.
That's great. Welcome to the show. It's such an honor to have you with us today.
Well, thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
That's great. So listen, we have a lot of material to cover. So Janice, let's jump right in, okay?
Yep.
Why have you decided to be a backpacker?
Well, I've always loved travel. My husband and I both love to travel. Of course, when you're a housewife and you have responsibilities and children and things to do, you don't really get to travel as much as you might like. Maybe you go on holidays and things like that. But my passion was always to travel and to live in different countries. So that's why I wanted to become a backpacking housewife.
And so how long have you been traveling now?
Well, we started traveling in January 2014. So that brings us up to 6 years plus this year. Obviously, we're not traveling right now. So almost 7 years.
Mm-hmm. So right now you're actually in Scotland?
Yeah, they're our home country. We're back in Scotland. And of course, it's a wonderful place to be.
Mm-hmm. So, Janice, you must have had some amazing adventures going around the world. So I believe you've been into like more than 55 countries or so. Is that right?
That's true. That's true. Yes, over the years. I mean, some of those countries are in Europe, some in the North America, Central America, a lot of countries in Asia, and we've had adventures everywhere. It's been fantastic. Lots of wonderful experiences.
Mm-hmm. So I believe the photo we have now on the screen is one of your favorite destinations, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, beautiful. Look at it. Absolutely gorgeous.
So where is that, Janice?
That's Utila. That's Central America, just off the coast of Honduras on the Caribbean side. There's these little islands in the bay. And Utila is the smallest of those islands. And we first went there actually when we first started traveling in 2014. And we've been back there a few times since because the place is beautiful and the people are beautiful and wonderful. And we have some lovely friends there. So although there's a lot of wonderful places in the world, I think a little bit of my heart is in Utila.
I'm going to ask our friend Telisino to show that picture of that small island again. Maybe I'd like to know more about that little island. There it is.
Right. Well, the one you're looking at is a tiny little, what we call the cays. So you can see the Utila Island in the background there. It's quite a flat island, but there's got these little tiny little islands around it. And the one you're looking at is called Pigeon Cay, and it's one of the most populated actually. It's got a lovely community of fishing people. And there's lots of other little islands around. They just look like paradise, little sandy beaches and palm trees. And it's absolutely stunningly beautiful and warm and tropical. I love, love, love it.
That is just absolutely, absolutely amazing. I wish I could make it there someday. In all of the travels you have done, Janice, have you ever felt concerned about your safety at any time?
To be honest, not very often. I would say yes to that question. But, I think you've got to trust yourself. And if you feel that a situation is perhaps not as it should be, you've got to trust yourself, your instincts, and just make that a better situation. So, get yourself away from that uncomfortable feeling and to move on. And so we've never had anything untowards happen to us. But yeah, I've probably felt a couple of times that let's move on.
Absolutely. And doing so much traveling, I imagine on a personal level, that requires a lot of planning, organization. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I think not so much planning, but preparation. Yes. When we first decided that we were going to sell everything and go off and explore the world, that was all about preparation. We sold our house, we sold our business, we sold our cars, everything we owned pretty much. We sold to facilitate traveling. And we knew that we wanted to travel long term and we wanted to travel slowly and we wanted to really absorb places and have experiences in places, not just as a tourist, but as somebody who really got to know the local people, for instance. And so we did that, and it was all about preparing to leave, preparing flights and trying to find out how it was possible to travel from one place to another once we got to our destination. And sometimes that's been easier than other times.
Yes, of course. What is the longest period of time you've been out there on vacation?
Well, as I say, it's been 6 years plus, but the longest time without coming home, if you like, to the UK and to Scotland was 2 years or thereabouts, just over 2 years. So that was a wonderful experience, but we did miss our family. Although I do actually have family abroad too. Our middle son, we have 3 sons. Our middle son lives in South Korea. And he's married, and so our grandson is in South Korea. So whenever in Asia, we feel we can see him, we can see our family in South Korea. And we have other family in Canada as well. So it's quite nice to be able to pop in on family when you're in different places in the world.
Absolutely. I just want to remind to all of our viewers out there, regardless of where you are in the world, via our YouTube chat. Also, we are broadcasting on a few Facebook pages today. By all means, amigos, if you have any comments and if you have any questions for Janice, this is the advantage of doing this show live. So this is a good opportunity to ask some questions. Any questions, by all means, amigos, don't be shy. Janice, I want to ask you, what is the thing that you actually miss the most when you're far away from Scotland or home or your regular routine, if I could say?
Well, I would say, without a doubt, it's the people I love,
Hmm.
family, friends. There's material things that you might enjoy in a certain place. But to be honest, whenever I move from one place to another, I leave something behind. Like if I'm in France, then I love the cheese and the wine. I might not be able to get that elsewhere. Um, in South Korea, I love kimchi. I can't really get that anywhere else. But so it's not so much about material things and food and stuff. It's more people. When I
Hmm.
leave a place, I miss who I'm leaving behind.
That's very nice. Listen, now another question I have for you. Is backpacking not meant to be more for the younger generation? Have you heard that comment
No,
before?
no. I think, and actually, this is backed up. National Geographic said in January that people over 50 backpacking was becoming a trend. And I believe that to be true. And although we're all paused right now, although we're all at home and we're not traveling, I think that once it's safe to go out in the world again and we can travel freely, then it will become even more a trend. I think
Hmm.
older people will want to travel and explore. And, if they've got that wanderlust in them, then I think people are going to act on that
Hmm.
for
Well,
sure.
yes, and there was a a reflection on the screen. I think is actually written by you saying it's never, it's always possible for everybody. It's never too late to do anything, to that effect. We do have a first question.
Mhm.
Um, how does one become a writer? This is an interesting question.
It is. I think that if you want to be a writer, you must sit down and you must write. You must read, of course, as well. I think reading is important. It's sort of a bit like a preparation for writing. I've always been an avid reader myself. And I think that if you want to be a writer, you should just write. You should write what you want to write, whether that's fiction or biography or, you know, whatever you
Mhm.
think your talent is, you might want to write about that. I mean, it's not just books people write these days, of course. People write blogs and websites, magazine articles, newspaper features. You can be a writer in many, many different spheres, and I would encourage people to try. Absolutely, if you can write, you're a writer.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Of course, in a subject of interest. Yes. Here's that quote again. You're never
Mhm.
too old. It's never too late to achieve your dreams.
I believe that.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thought. Here's another one. Wow. What amazing experiences. That does your husband enjoy backpacking as well? And what about your children?
Well, I'll start with our children. Because we always liked to travel when we were a family, we did so, but of course it was in set weeks during the year when the children weren't at school or my husband wasn't working and where I wasn't working. So, we would travel anyway. We would have a holiday booked, and we used to prioritize that over everything else. So
Hmm.
we might not have the sofa, the new sofa, the new carpet, or whatever it was. We'd rather save up and travel and have a holiday together. So our children, our sons, are well traveled too. And I love that. I feel that we've given them a broad outlook on the world with the travels they've done as young people, and I hope that in the future they will still do that. As my
Wow.
husband, well, he's like me. He's absolutely loves to travel, and he also likes scuba diving. He's a scuba diving fanatic. So wherever we can go, where he can be in the water, in the ocean, in the sea, he's very happy. And I'm happy too because I like beaches and I like islands. And although I don't scuba dive myself, I like to snorkel. So, yeah, I think you can go out in the world and do these things in lots of different places. But of course, I think it's probably better to go diving where the water's clear and warm.
One of the reasons why you love Honduras, I believe.
Oh, yes.
Now, to be traveling lightly like that as a backpacker, do people need to be a little bit more braver or a little bit more adventurous?
I say be bold, not old.
Okay. I
I
love that
think, yeah,
expression.
I think, yeah, you should, maybe you have to be a little bit brave. Maybe you do. But why not be brave? Why not grasp
Mhm,
your life and do what you want to do? Live your dream, make it happen. And if traveling is your thing, then absolutely. While you've got your health, and I don't think age is a barrier.
mhm. That's very inspiring. Janice, I know you've been to Honduras. Is there any other countries in Central America where you have been?
Yes, I've been to a couple of places in Central America, but not nearly enough. I really, really want to come to Costa Rica for sure. We've been to El Salvador briefly, and we've explored Panama. I love Panama, I must admit. There was so much to see, not just the canal, but the old town. I absolutely loved it there. And of
Mhm.
course, I bought a Panama hat
That's great.
that's made in
And
Ecuador.
I know you're a very young woman still, so but how long
Oh,
do you
thank
think
you.
you're going to be doing this, uh, traveling the
Well,
world like that, being a backpacker?
I hope we can just carry on for as long as possible.
Uh,
I really sincerely mean that. I mean, it's very difficult right now with the situation, the COVID situation. We all have to stay safe, and when it's safe to go out in the world again, I'll be there for sure. My husband and I will be on a plane somewhere else to
mhm.
explore and have adventures again.
As soon as you can.
Yes.
And do you have maybe a tip for people who are thinking of maybe venturing in these types of experiences, being a backpacker or packing everything and leaving and
Mm,
letting go of everything? Like, what would be the main tip you could give to the people who are watching us today?
I'd say travel light.
Hmm.
Try not to prepare too much. Go with try to be organic. Go off somewhere and enjoy where you're going, but at the same time, um, allow for adventure, experience, meeting people, because all these things shape your journey. So it really is about the journey and not the destination. And
Hmm.
I think in traveling light, um, it's I think your life is richer with experience rather than things. So yeah, it's perfectly possible to put on a backpack and go off for a few years and live quite well.
That's great. We have a question here from Anne. What is your better or craziest story as a backpacker? Is there something that comes to mind?
A crazy story. Oh my goodness. Um, I think my crazy stories have all been sort of a bit worrying, really. Like,
Uh-huh.
if you've had something go wrong, like I slipped and hurt myself when we were in Thailand, and my foot ballooned up and really got infected terribly, really badly. And
Uh-huh.
that was a sort of a crazy experience because I was in Thailand. You couldn't really sort of just rush off to the doctors or whatever. But I ended up being treated by a pharmacist, which worked out quite well. But I also ended up with a big scar on my foot.
Mm.
So the next year, I had a tattoo put on my foot to cover the scar.
What is the tattoo?
It's a turtle, actually.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
Have you ever, like in your travels, went somewhere you didn't expect and you bumped into somebody you didn't expect to see there, like a family or friends or something like that?
Yeah, we were on a tiny, tiny little island in Indonesia and walking down the beach, and we bumped into people that we'd been met in Thailand. Just
Mhm.
it's crazy coincidence.
That's amazing. Janice, what is the biggest life lesson that you're gaining from all of your experiences?
um, Again, I would just say that life is richer with experiences.
Hmm.
that traveling opens your mind, and
Yes.
I think it makes you realize that people actually are mostly good in the world,
Hmm.
and that you meet nice people, and that's what's really important. Um, Realizing that we're pretty much all the same all around the world. We want the same things.
Cool. Um, Now, before we get into the next subject, and we have another question here: is how long would it typically take to write a book? This question comes from Budarte.
Well, I think it takes, for me personally, it's been various times writing a book, depending on available time, deadlines, whether you've got a deadline. When I first started writing, it took me a lot longer to write books because, of course, I had other things going on. I wasn't just a writer. I was busy being a housewife too.
Okay.
So I think it pretty much depends on how much time you have available and how much time you're prepared to put into it. So I think a tip there would be to, if you want to write a book, then you should prioritize a block of time to be able to write.
A little bit of discipline.
Yeah.
Now, Janice, okay, you're the backpacking housewife. Okay, I've been dying to ask you, where is your backpack?
Oh, my backpack. It's
Yes.
in the corner. It's all dusty. I threw it there 6 months ago,
Uh-huh.
and I'm afraid it's out of use at the moment. It's yeah.
But you do have a bag close by.
You don't want me to open it, do you? Because there could be memories in there.
Uh-huh. I want you to
You want me
open
to
it.
open it? Oh, right. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay,
Okay.
we're
I
very
do have it
curious.
here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let me see what's in here. I'm a bit
Okay.
concerned because I don't know quite what's in here. The last place I went
Uh-huh. Yes. So what?
before I arrived
Item
in Scotland.
I, item number one.
Well, I was in France, and would you believe it? There's a
Ah,
smelly cheese.
oh, man.
There's a
Uh-huh.
smelly cheese in here.
Oh, it's smelly. How long has it been
Smelly.
in there?
Oh, 6 months.
Oh,
It's
6 months.
it's
Ah, Jana,
it's
come
in
on.
Scotland we'd say it's minging. And
Okay.
oh, bottle of French wine.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, send it this way.
Excellent.
Send it to Pepito. Okay. So where's the wine
Oh,
from? France? Where's the wine from?
oh, the wine is
Oh,
from France, of course.
from
It's a
France.
good Bordeaux. Flip
Uh-huh.
flops.
Flip
My flip
flops.
flops. I wondered where
Absolutely.
they'd got to.
Very essential. Yes. Yes.
Now, you should never travel without coconut oil. It's
Coconut.
fantastic. Yeah,
Okay.
when you've got those no-see-ums biting you, you put this
Uh-huh.
on and it stops them
Uh-huh.
biting you. That's a good tip.
Okay.
Oh, South Korea. I was in South Korea and I bought some kimchi.
Kimchi. What? Excuse me,
Yay!
but what is that?
It's it's very famous in South Korea. It's a pickled cabbage, and it's very
Okay.
spicy and it's delicious. I love it.
Ah,
So
interesting.
I'm really glad you made me open my backpacking
Yeah,
book.
because
And
that stuff would have been there another 6 months or so.
when I was in New Orleans once, I bought
Okay.
from a very spooky shop. I bought some tarot cards. So I've got my
Ah,
tarot cards in here.
okay, okay. Pick a tarot card for me. Pick a tarot card for
Right.
me.
Okay,
Okay.
just randomly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just randomly. Show it to the screen.
Oh, it's the Five of Swords.
Okay. Does that have any special significance? Do you know?
Well, it does, but I can tell you that you're gathering things up there, and you're looking to the future. So I think you're working on this YouTube channel, and it's going to be great success.
Ah, I love that. Thank you very much. Anything else in the bag?
Oh, let me see. Oh, look what I found.
Ah,
It's a
there it
copy
is.
of The
There it is.
Backpacking Housewife.
The
Look.
Backpacking Housewife. There's the book. That's the hard copy.
Yeah,
And
this is the
yeah.
first book in the series published by Harper Collins.
Uh-huh. So,
Would you like me to read some?
oh, absolutely, Janice. Please take a minute and read us a little excerpt from your book.
Okay, here we go. So The flight from Bangkok to Chiang Mai takes a little over an hour, and when I arrive, the sun is shining in a clear blue sky, and although it's still boiling hot with temperatures in the high 30s, I immediately find it less humid and polluted than claustrophobic Bangkok. I take in great gulps of the fresher air and feel my head clearing. I take a taxi from the airport to the old part of the city, and I watch the wonders of Chiang Mai unfold in front of my eyes. Here at last, I can really feel the benefit of time and distance working in my favour. My thoughts this morning are heavily focused on self-preservation. It has occurred to me that if I'm going to be alone in future, then a positive mindset is going to be my strongest tools for survival. I don't have to be a betrayed wife and a sad empty nester. I realise I have a choice. I can be the old me, or I can be set free.
Wow. That's just beautiful. I could be the old me, or I could be set free.
Yes, and that's the character in the story is called Laurie, and she's traveling alone after leaving the UK, and she's always wanted to travel, but she's never really done it because she's been a housewife for a long, long time, and this is her first sort of escapades. There you can see. First escapades into Thailand this time, but she does travel to several other countries too.
That's just
and
amazing.
People say it's inspirational, which is really makes me happy.
Yes, and I think you make a lot of people happy with your books also. Listen, now you've given us those little surprises from your backpack. You've opened your backpack for us. We really appreciate that. Now we have a little surprise for you, Janice.
Oh no, what is it?
Actually, yeah, and we thought, like, what kind of little surprise could we get for Janice? So what we did is we got out there in social media, and we want to invite someone on the show. And this someone actually is one of your best fans. And this lady here has read all of your books. And there she is from England. Let's welcome to the show, Michelle Rideout. There she is. Hello,
Hi,
Michelle. Okay,
Hi,
I think,
Michelle.
Michelle, you need to unmute your mic. There it is.
Oh, right. There it is. You muted me.
There we are. Yes.
Hi, James. Oh,
Michelle
it's
Rideout.
fabulous to talk to you. I just love all of your books. They're absolutely fabulous. I can't believe it's like 2 years ago since I read your first one. Was it your own personal experiences that inspired you, or was it your traveling, or was it a mixture of both for this particular book?
For the Backpacking Housewife, the first book, it was very much all my own travel experiences. Obviously, I'm not traveling alone when I travel because I'm with my husband, and we've been together a long time, and that's not Laurie's story. But every single place where she went, I've sometimes changed the names of a couple of the other places she went to, but otherwise all the experiences I have done myself, every single one. And earlier on I was relating about cutting my foot and having it infected, and that actually happens to Laurie too. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
So it's all true, that bit.
Ah, brilliant. Yeah, because I found in all of your books you've got people you just love to hate, and you just go through all the emotions. It just makes you laugh, it makes you cry. Especially the first one with Sally and Charles. I think, you really cross and what have you. And then you've got the lovely people like Summer and that. And I think probably my favourite is the third one, the Backpacking Bride.
Really?
Especially for me. Oh yeah, I just love that one because I've been to Hong Kong and to Singapore and that, and it was just lovely, especially Hong Kong because we were there back in January, and it was just lovely revisiting it all and what have you. And lovely. You just really feel part of your books just reading it. It's just you feel like you're there doing it all. So yeah,
that's lovely. I loved Hong Kong. I must admit, I would like to go back there. It's the Star Ferry and everything over to the islands. Gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Michelle, before we close.
No, you don't. No, I'm fine. I'm too busy.
Michelle, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to join us on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me.
Really made it for me. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. And Michelle, please stay tuned. Stay there and continue watching because actually Janice has a special little announcement we're going to do in just a few minutes. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay,
I'm not going anywhere.
okay. Thank you for joining
Thank you.
us. Take care. Okay. Wow, that was amazing.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you
Yes.
so much. That was lovely.
Yeah, and this lady has like read everything you've done. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. It is.
And
It really is.
speaking of that, Janice, how many books have you written total? And can you name like a few more beside the Backpacking Housewife?
Of course. Well, I started writing seriously in the year 2000 when I was 40. And it took me 4 years to write my first book. And since then, I've written 15 titles, and most of them have been published.
Wow, that's quite an achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, before we actually, we're going to go a little bit later in giving details to people about your website and how to purchase your books online and stuff like that. But before we actually do that, we want to do a little something else that's actually going to be fun. We're actually going to invite you
More fun.
Yes, more fun. Yeah, this show is all about fun. We're going to actually going to invite you to participate in the Pepito quiz. Okay, so Janice, this is the Pepito quiz. We're asking you a few questions, and quickly, the idea is to get to know you better beside the author and get to know a little bit more about Janice. So are you nervous?
I am very nervous.
Okay. Please, Janice, name a famous person you met.
Oh, famous
5,
person I met.
4,
I can't think.
3, 2, 1. Do you want me to tell you?
No,
Who?
you tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you a famous person you met here. The Beatles.
Oh my goodness. Of course. In Liverpool.
In Liverpool. Yeah, where
In
else?
Liverpool.
Yeah. Okay, here's another famous person you met.
Oh, Marilyn Monroe. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, Marilyn. Where have you met Marilyn Monroe?
That was in Key West.
In Key West. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's question number 1. Okay, so now let's go to question number 2. Margarita or pina colada?
Margarita.
Margarita. Okay. Next question. Yay, applauso. Rolling Stones or Pavarotti?
Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones. Yay. Next one. In an airplane, window or aisle seat?
I love the window seat, but I never get it. I usually end up in the middle.
Okay, that's good. Next one. Pool or beach?
Beach.
Beach. Perfecto. Next one. Favorite song of all time?
Easy. It's Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas. Without a doubt.
Nice. Okay. Janice, have you ever missed a flight?
Almost.
Almost. Okay. And here's the next one. Janice or Janie?
Oh, both.
Both. Okay. Maybe, actually, I'm happy you say both, but I think people maybe watching will not understand why you say both. So we know a little bit about Janice. So can you tell us a little bit about Janie now? I'm not sure I have the pronunciation right, but I believe that's right.
Yeah, it's Janie. Sometimes if I'm writing something and it's not sort of in keeping with my own branding, then I'll write under the name Janie.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. Hey, you did great. Do you want to come back into the first question, a famous person you met? Is there somebody else that comes to mind? Besides the Beatles and... No, I don't want to put you on the spot. That's okay.
My mind is blank.
Okay, that's okay. If you think about it later, just come back to it. Okay,
Okay.
Janice, you're very inspiring and have a very positive vibe. There's a comment coming in from one of our viewers today watching via Facebook. And
That
to
makes me
listen,
happy.
yes, absolutely. And here's another question coming from Budarte. Are your books available in French?
Not yet. I don't believe so. I mean, Harper Collins do translations, and a lot of them are European languages, but I've not been told anything. So unfortunately,
Okay.
right now, no.
Okay. Okay.
Harper Collins, if you're watching,
Yes,
maybe you could,
absolutely.
because I have
Yes.
so many French friends.
Uh-huh. And any publications in other languages? No, I believe not. No.
No, just English.
Okay, perfect. So now, actually, here's the website, backpackinghousewife.com.
Yes.
Yes. And before we continue, Janice, we want to talk. We have a little surprise and a little reveal we want to share with our viewers today. And because, October 1st is coming. Okay.
Very
And we
soon.
have a little announcement. And we're actually like, go ahead and say it.
The Backpacking Bride, which is the third book in the Backpacking Housewife series, will be released in paperback on the 1st of October.
Yes, there it is, amigos. Okay. And this is totally new, right off the press, right?
Yep, I haven't even seen it myself yet.
Exactly.
I hope to, just in the next few days, maybe. It'll be great to get the box and see the books. It's always a great thrill. It never gets old.
Yeah, so this message is for everybody out there. Okay. Michelle Rideout. Okay. I know she's still in the studio there. She's watching there.
Oh, good,
Okay.
because I was wondering if she was still watching, because if you can message me, Michelle, through my website, I'd love to send you a signed copy of The Backpacking Bride.
Wow.
I'll get it to you in the next week or so.
Just hang on there. I think I'm going to talk to Telecino and see if we could bring Michelle back up for a minute. Telecino, can we do that? Can we bring Michelle back up for a minute? The three screens like this. There we are. Okay.
Hi,
We have Michelle. Did you hear the good news?
Oh my God, that'd be. I did. I am so thrilled now.
Oh, well, I'd be delighted. Honestly, you made my night. And what I'd like to do is, if you can go onto the backpackinghousewife.com, there's a contact me form, and you can just send me your details, and through that it's a secure form, and I'll get that book to you, signed over to you, as soon as I have it myself, which is hopefully in the next week or two.
What?
Oh my God.
What a nice surprise. And I will make sure, Janice, that you have all the coordinates. I'm going to facilitate the
Thank you.
the process.
Michelle.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you for still being there, Michelle. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to miss anything.
Okay, cool. Okay, I think our camera is freezing here a little bit. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. So listen, before we close, we want to make sure people understand, okay, also how they could actually purchase, okay, your books online. Actually, there's a link on your webpage, right, that links to Amazon, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's the link at the screen. Also, we want to tell people that in the show description today on YouTube, this is one of the advantages of looking at the shows on YouTube. Okay. We have Janice's biography. We have the links to purchase the books through Amazon UK, your web page, everything is on there. So amigos, just by a click, okay, you could purchase this latest edition, okay, of the hard copy of the Backpacking Bride. That's very good and very exciting news. Also, you're also very active on Facebook, Twitter.
My husband doesn't get it. He doesn't do social media at all. But I'm on them all.
Okay. Here's a good question. I totally agree with the positive vibes. You must be a joy to work with. Would you someday like to see your book or your books as movies?
Oh, yes, I would.
Uh,
I don't think there's an author who wouldn't really.
uh,
Yeah, I would really like to see that, but whether it ever happens is another thing. In fact, there was a review, latest review this week for the Backpacking Housewife, and a lady did sign off by saying this would be a great movie,
there we
and
go.
I was so thrilled with that, and I was sort of like a little bit.
Mhm. Or maybe even a series on Netflix. We're sending a message to all the Netflix people out there, right? Producers.
Fantastic. Yeah, yeah. Backpacking
Uh,
housewife. This is it
yes,
here. Look.
there we go. There it is. Yeah, yeah. And so that would be absolutely fantastic. And here's another comment here: is that we all dream of just packing up and moving on at some point, and this housewife has done just that. Fantastic. It comes from Amanda Goodreads, and she is giving you a 5-star. I just
Oh,
want to,
thank you.
yes. Also show to the people some of the other book covers you have here, like the Backpacking Housewife, Islands in the Sun, the
Mm.
Backpacking Housewife, The Next Adventure, which is the book that you've actually read from, I believe.
No, it was the first one, this
Okay,
one
was
that I
the
read
first
from.
one? Yeah, and before we leave, also, so this is actually like a reminder that all of your books are available under these different forms. Okay, hard copy, tablet, cell phone. So, I mean, with today's technology, everything is possible, right?
Absolutely, yes. It's not yet been translated and it's not yet in Audible, but I've hopes for that for the future.
Okay,
We'll see. Yeah.
great. So, listen, Janice, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Is there anything you would like to add before actually leaving us today?
Well, I'd just like to thank you,
Hmm?
Pepito, for contacting me, for having me on your fabulous show, and for the wonderful opportunity to chat with people, and especially I mean, I'm really touched that Michelle came on. Thank you so much,
It was
and for saying such nice things about my new book. Really, really thrilled. Thank you.
it was a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. And please keep us posted as new books do come along. Here's a little question before we leave. Actually, like maybe there's more of a professional angle to it, but like, do you like when you sign a contract with an important publishing company like Harper Collins, do you have like are you writing spontaneously and then you submit, or how does that work?
I think it works differently for different people.
Okay.
It was actually HarperCollins that asked me to write these books
Oh.
because they were following my travels through my website, which is thebackpackinghousewife.com. And they liked the idea of, they wanted a romantic adventure story, but they thought I could incorporate my travels into the story. And they knew, obviously, that I was a writer because I've had contact with them through writing conferences and through my membership of the Romantic Novelists Association. So it's not like it was a cold call. I did actually have contacts within HarperCollins. So when they pitched this idea to me, I thought it was fantastic, and I was absolutely on board straight away. So that's how it happened for me. But I'm quite happy publishing independently as well. A lot of my books are like The Island in the Sun, which came out last year, is published independently and not by Harper. So it's different ways for different people. But maybe the traditional way is to write a book, write a synopsis, and then pitch it to the publisher. And I know that's a great way
Hmm.
for a lot of people to get published.
Well, Janice, I hope you pitch many more books to the publishers.
Thank you. Thank you.
And and we want to actually send you an invitation, welcome you to Costa Rica whenever you can, whenever
Yeah.
the world returns to some normalcy. You're welcome to Costa Rica for the Pura Vida anytime. Costa Rica is a beautiful backpacking country, actually. Some amazing things to see.
I'm sure it looks amazing.
And we're absolutely.
I will look you up, Pepito. I will come say hello.
Absolutely, that's a deal. So thank you, and thank you for joining us. Okay,
Thank you so
and
much.
and the best of luck to your family in the future. Thank you. Amigos, this was the backpacking housewife. We want to thank everyone who have joined us on the show today, everyone who's been watching, people who have been making comments, people who have asked questions. We want to thank special thanks to Michelle Rideout, who's took some special time live from England to ask some questions and come and salute our special guest. We want to also thank Telecino for participating in the show today. And amigos, we will see you very, very soon on one of our next episodes of Pepito Live. And muchas gracias y hasta luego.